And may I invite my co-moderator, once he finishes his tweet, of course, not before this, please. Here joining me on the stage, presenting the rest of the participants, good guys and friends. By the way, it's going to be a funny panel. All Bulgarians speak in English, but yeah, we need to respect our guests.
Yes, yes, of course. Very good presentation indeed. Very useful for me, and I hope for everybody else. And will add additional value to the e-commerce.
Right.
World.
Stenik's doing great job, and GombaShop just pitching up. So join us, guys. Welcome on the Webit stage. Welcome. Good having you here. Yes. Good to meet you, Vitko. Petar, join us. By the way, just before this, I want to show you some love. Okay. You know I love you, don't? So, guys, could you please switch on the YouTube channel just for a second? Right. Lovely. Can you? Oh, I like this one. Good. I mean, did you only have this head? I thought that there are other interesting stuff going on there. Oh, Enchev is here. Good. Good to know. Right. One more thing to show more love to my team. Look, they come here working for you with those things in their nose. But I mean, can I ask you for some applause for these guys? Thank you. Thank you very much. Muku nasal plus spray. It's kind of a product positioning. So let's move on with the digital commerce landscape and where we are heading there. It's a very interesting thing. We have a digital DCOM summit in Middle East on 30th of April. 200 top people from all around Middle region joining together. There, the e-commerce is growing 45 to 50%, 50% in Dubai, 45% per year for the past 2 years. We are about to launch a special white papers for this region. So let's talk about the challenges here in this part of the world, in Central Eastern Europe, your overview. You already give it. By the way, going big reminds me of a joke for Viagra and ginkgo biloba, you know. First drink ginkgo biloba and then Viagra in order to remember why do you drink the second one. So, you know, so it's great to go big. Let's talk about it. So, how big are we going to grow? Who's first, please? Ljubo.
I'm first. Last year we speak about the e-commerce in Bulgaria. Now we'll try to expand this with a more strategic vision, I think, with these guys that are here now. Dimitar from Stenik, very large and very good design agency that are creating one of the best e-commerce sites in Bulgaria. Petar from GombaShop, emerging startup for software as a service for creating of small and very good e-commerce sites, and which is something new for Bulgaria. And Eva, you already know Eva from Fashion Days. So we are going to start with the tendencies for just to look at my nose. Like Plamen said, last year the e-commerce exploded. So what to expect for the current year? Is this going to continue in Bulgaria?
Can I start?
Sure.
Thanks. First of all, thanks for the attention. Last 2 years in Bulgaria, the growth in the e-commerce was very big. So right now I'm talking about my opinion. 2014, I think the things will be much more stable. We already know most of our big players. Some of them are only Bulgaria-based companies, some of them not exactly. But if I must make something like a forecast, I think that this year will be much more stable. And in case of numbers, in case of
Dimitar, just sorry for interrupting. You know, using the word big again, I was joking with it. But how big? Do you have any data on how big was the growth of the e-commerce last year?
Last year, I think 30%.
30% growth
Yes.
on previous year.
Mhm.
Can we give any basic numbers of the turnovers? I know that there are no in Bulgaria particularly, and obviously we're going to be covering that particular country right now, but in general, can we give any basic rough numbers on the scale of the e-commerce in Bulgaria?
Of the whole picture, I think it will be much more interesting for the people to hear from person like Eva something a little bit more specific, like in fashion or.
Well, we already announced our numbers for the past year, and our
One
turnover.
of the few, by the way. Thanks for
I'm
this.
sorry. Yeah.
Making the market whiter
Yeah,
from the
it-
gray part where it is. It's a great move from you. So appreciate
Thank you.
your move.
I think I would be happy, and I think it will be great for the business if there would be more information for it. But unfortunately, it is like this, like it is. We did a 10 million euro turnover for the past year. It was slightly more than 30% growth year over year. But I totally agree with you that we've seen some very rapid change, growth in the past 2 or 3 years even. And it was growing because people were more and more interested into this. It will stabilize, so the numbers will not be that huge as they were before. And because this just cannot go on, the market has its limits. But it will continue to grow just because the people's behavior is changing a lot. And actually people's life is changing a lot because now you don't have time to, especially in big cities, commuting from here, from one point to another, it just takes a lot of time, and busy people don't really have it. So this is why I think e-commerce is just going to grow, maybe slowly from now on, but definitely it's going to continue.
By the way, I'm so, Lubo, just 1 second, sorry if you're, I'm so happy you accepted our invitation to join here this year's Webit edition in Central Eastern Europe. And I'm again delighted that you published all this information that financially that you have. Can we make a statement based on your experience, obviously, nothing else? How much of the turnover was paid with credit card, how much in cash on delivery?
Yeah, it's about 80-20, so 80% cash on delivery, 20% card.
Which is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
this was like 99.999 a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
Obviously, things changed quite dramatically, and that's a great way to go.
Yes, but in this case, Fashion Days, maybe they are on the first place because they know how to push people to pay like this.
I'm sorry, the thing that I'm going to say is really unpopular now, but one of
Please,
the...
I love unpopular stuff.
Sorry.
Everybody,
But one
stuff
of
that everybody knows is not interesting.
Yeah, so one of the reasons that the card payments are not growing that much is, and we have to be fair here, is that when you have card payment, this is an income that you cannot hide. So pretty much cash on delivery is very preferred by some players because it's cash and you can hide it in any way you want. So this is what is holding this market back, and we need big players, also like players like PayU or players like Visa to actually push and talk to customers and educate them of online payments, just because it will also contribute to the market and make it whiter if you want, because now everything is very much in the gray area.
Right.
And do you think that the big players that are joining currently in the e-commerce world will not increase even more the whole growth of the e-commerce in Bulgaria? So not to be 30%, to be 50 or 60, why not? Because there are a lot of big brands that doesn't have a strong e-commerce presence at the moment.
In fact, if we're talking specifically about Bulgaria, there are some very good offline, I can say, traders, big companies that trade for tens or more years, and they are good offline. But until the last 2 or 3 years, or maybe until the last 1 year, they have, not only business, but also technological problems of going good online, because they can go small. They think I can go online and to be small. If I go online, I must be like I'm offline. And this is more like a tendency right now. More of the big traders who want to sell online need their e-commerce site to be fully integrated in their business, not just a part of it. I mean, because we're a developer, I'm talking about full ERP integrations. This is something when, in fact, you don't have something like an administrative panel in your back office. You're working with your business solution, with your ERP system. They need good solutions in this area to go online. So I think yes.
So we can expect this year and next year even more, even bigger growth in the e-commerce.
Because there are still very good offline traders that are not online.
And maybe Peter can add something about the long tail, the small shops.
Yeah, sure.
How they're going to explode
yeah.
this or next year. I think that in Europe and the United States there is big growth in this area with a lot of small e-commerce sites.
But I haven't seen yet GombaShop, but is it like Thinktail? I mean, is it like the...
Well, GombaShop is a software as a service platform for creating web e-commerce store.
Right. Like Thinktail.
Yeah.
Right.
Some kind,
Yeah.
but it has
It was a huge success last year in Turkey, Thinktail. They actually raised money out there, and it was great because it really sounded like a, the founder there. So congratulations for setting up this model here in Bulgaria. So what are your expectations?
well,
Where are you heading for the next 2 years?
My colleague here said that last year or last 2 years, most of big players on the market made good and very beautiful e-commerce stores. But
If you can speak more louder, please, because
yeah.
people need to hear you.
But unfortunately, smaller merchants and producers in Bulgaria are far away from such web solutions. And when they try to do solutions like this, they have very small budget, so they go to some students or individuals, and at the end, most of projects like this crash. So they have bad experience, and we're trying to fix this with software as a service. The idea is that a small business can start web e-commerce store, online store, for several minutes technically, and then they can focus on the sales, not on technical problems, on project management and etc. When we started, we found a lot of companies, small companies in small places in Bulgaria, which make great products, and they just don't have the market because they're in a small town.
Right.
So they started to sell online. Of course, they have a lot of stuff to learn about online sales, and we're trying to help them, but they started to sell, and they realized that they can reach the whole Bulgarian market. And
Is it multi-language or it's only for Bulgarian?
well, it's multi-language, but first we focused on Bulgarian market. Of course, if you're a merchant and you want to sell online in another country, you can start multi-language.
So how many
version.
clients do you have already?
At the moment, we have more than 1,000 registrations.
1,000 for how long?
About, let's say, 8 months. But
That's quite a good start. Congratulations.
These are registrations.
Well done. So how many active?
We have something about 150 active.
What are the other ones doing? Just exploring?
Well, some of the others just exploring. The others are just a test because we don't have the demo version. You just
Are you
create
hosting
yours.
with Superhosting?
Yeah, we are
course.
using
Of course, all right.
very good cloud service for hosting, so
Right.
we are 100% sure about
Right.
the hosting.
All right, guys, do you have questions from the audience? Anything you want to know about e-commerce? By the way, I'm absolutely interested in what you think about the alternative ways of payments, the disruptive new startups, probably including the virtual currencies. Do you know that you can buy your tickets with Bitcoins for the Global Webit Congress? Do you have Bitcoins? Anybody with Bitcoins here?
Yeah,
Good.
just
good.
me.
We can take your Bitcoins for the next Webit. So, what do you think about it? I mean, how do you think it's going to be helping the industry in Bulgaria, in Central Eastern Europe? Is it adding value, or I'm talking about alternative currencies and alternative payments methods? So it's both. There's so many startups on payments right now. I mean, PayU is one a great example, obviously PayPal, and so many. I mean, right now in Dubai, we are going to be presenting like 4 or 5 different startups only on payments. And India, the National Bank of India just announced that they are going to be excluding most of the players from India, and they're announcing a brand new opportunity to pay from cash accounts. So everybody will be able in India to pay from their current accounts online. Amazing, isn't it? I mean, and no commission, by the way.
That's
Yeah, well,
interesting.
actually, there is quite a big, if we can say, war maybe a little bit between the banks and the alternative payment methods, because obviously we're fighting on getting the best price for transaction.
Sure.
But in some of our markets, for example, Slovakia has one bank that is a monopolist on the market, and there is absolutely no way that any other player can enter, because this bank is just servicing 90% of the online payments by card. It holds all the cards. So ultimately, it is very difficult for any player, because when an alternative player enters, they're just another link. You know, you cannot go without the bank. So if we have PayU in Slovakia and we have the bank, they would always have to go through the bank. So it's further increasing the commission for the e-commerce platforms. So it's a market that is pretty difficult to enter. Yes.
Oh, when I say this, please, do you have questions? Because I want to give you the mics before. Anybody with a question? Oh. Yeah, please.
Okay, I'll speak directly.
No, try with
Do you
mic.
hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
do.
thanks. Regarding the presentations before today about big data, we had a few publishers talking about it. I would like to ask about your advertising campaigns, and do you partnership with your media where you advertise regarding big data? How is this as a relationship?
So big data for retailers.
Yeah, I mean regarding advertising, optimizing your investment, and so on.
We are our advertising is very performance based. So it is based on, so we advertise, especially retargeting, we advertise to our customers, things that we know that our customers are interested in or buying at the moment, or whatever. But as I tried to show in my presentation, it is this information flow about the customer behavior we use in every aspect of our business, also in marketing. So when you're outside of our shop, or we pretty much, I'm sorry for being that annoying, but we follow you with the clothes that you were, looking at just a while ago. We do work with Facebook and Google a lot, and with some local publishers as well. But it is very difficult, especially in the Central and Eastern European market, because the technical, there's just so many technical aspects that are not there yet. So even if we want to go big and advertise in a very cool way and use all the possibilities that are out there, there is very few publishers and very few tools that can offer us these opportunities on this particular market. So yes, of course, we are trying to change the market and we are trying to use them, and we do where we can. So, yeah.
By the way, it's funny with the retail. I have a question for you. It's a very important one.
Me?
But just before this, I was joking with a friend of mine. It wasn't exactly a joke, by the way, but I mean, he had debt in his family, so he was Googling for an agency to take care of the stuff. And then for quite some time, he received these, get to know the agency peace in mind or getting there forever, stuff like this. It's not very nice to see it for months. You know, that's where the retargeting is still missing the clue. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's not nice to be followed by, you know, the grave stuff. But tell me about the price, about the client acquisition that you have at Superhosting. Can you share this information, or it's secret? Can you share this about client acquisition? Price per client, online advertising? No, you can't. I know you can't. I'm just trying my best.
I'm sorry.
I cannot, sorry. But it's not.
For the record, I asked a question, they didn't give me the answer, right?
Not,
so I did it. I did it, yeah, I've done it.
It's not low.
I know.
It's high, yes.
All right, more questions?
I have a question. Can I ask?
Sure, please. Please go ahead.
Yes, very interesting point in retail is mobile sales. What do you think? How many customers, for example, on Stenik have mobile versions of the site? They actually sell with it, not just like presentation.
First of all, I just want to go back to the Plamen's question about the alternative payment gateways and payment methods. I think that in a market like the Bulgarian, it all depends on the big players. There must be an engine that push the people to make something. You know, the biggest growth of our market was because of Groupon type of websites. Everybody knows Groupon type of coupon sites.
It's Grabo, for God's sake.
Yes, for example.
We're not in Benete right now.
Of course,
you
of
can
course.
call names,
We are talking
brands,
about
sure.
Grabo, we are talking
Yeah,
about
right.
Collectiva, and
Of course, всички оферти.
yes, of course. These were the biggest engines that pushed the people and to go in a territory they weren't before. So I think if we are talking about new payment methods, it depends on the big players. If Fashion Days or Grabo or I don't know the Prodavalnik's new name, but
Nobody knows it, by the way.
Nobody
Do you know
knows it.
Prodavalnik's new name? Huh? Wow.
OLX.
Yeah, marketing is good actually.
Yeah, good.
Yes, if the big players push you to use the new payment method, yes, sure you will use it. If they don't, I'm not sure.
They're part of Allegro Group, part of Napsters, and PayU is part of it. So the new methods there are based on the structure.
Of course.
But let's talk about mobile. It's very interesting. So it's a great question. Thanks for this, Ljubo.
About the mobile, in fact, in Bulgaria, there are not a lot of online traders that have, I'm not talking about mobile versions, I'm talking about the mobile applications because they deliver a lot more different experience to the user. The user experience is on a different level. So in this case, I think Eva have much more to say because they have a pretty good mobile application. I use it.
What is the difference between the convergence rates on mobile and online?
Well, there's a very big difference between the customers who buy mobile and the customers who buy online. Most of the people who buy through a mobile are very technically advanced, and most of them are actually much more dedicated to the purchase. Because one of the biggest issues in e-commerce is the products that come back to you after a person just have them and don't like them. But in what we can see in mobile is definitely that people who purchased via a device, like a mobile device, are less likely to actually return a product. For us, mobile is huge. It's one of our key things for 2014. We actually, at the moment, make 20% of our sales in Bulgaria out of mobile.
Wow.
Which is big. Yes.
It is good. Yeah. In other markets, we even sell more. Bulgaria is actually at the end of that of the group at the moment in terms of mobile sales, not in terms of general sales. But we definitely see a big growth there, and I have to say that it's only 10% of that. So it's only 50% of that sales coming from the app, and the other 50 are coming from just from accessing the website through a mobile device, be it iPad or some sort of yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Can you share the information, or you can
Everybody's moderating these days.
about the what percentage is are the iOS users and the Android users, for example?
To be honest, I don't know. I can't give you a number now.
You see, and I'm sure that the iOS users pay much more.
Well,
order much more and pay
really
much
don't
more.
know.
Yeah,
Yes.
the big Apple brainwashed them
Yes,
in advance,
of
right?
course.
Right, so more questions because we are totally running out of time. No? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've heard a voice somewhere, but was it or not? Eva, you will be the
Yeah.
most sought after speaker after Webit. Thanks a lot.
Thank
You were
you.
amazing. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Ljubo, thanks, mate.